Can you run a Japanese Sega Saturn on American power? Some people say it's fine. Some people say don't even try it. And honestly, even ChatGPT can't make up its mind.
So several weeks ago, we tested this for ourselves.
That's right. We used a step-down transformer that outputs true 100 volts, just like Japan. And we tested multiple Japanese Saturns.
We ran them on both voltages to measure two things: power draw and temperatures with a thermal camera. Did they draw more? Did they run hotter? Or is this whole debate just internet noise?
I'm Brian, this is Gavin, and you're watching IFX Retro Games. First surprise, Saturn power supplies are not all the same. Some are 5-pin, some are 4-pin, and the components inside vary quite a bit depending on revision.
The main concern people always bring up is the primary filter capacitor on the AC side. Some of these Japanese units use a 180 volt capacitor, others use 200 volts, occasionally even higher.
Now here's the technical part. 120 volts AC RMS turns into roughly 170 volts peak after rectification. And in the real world, US mains can run closer to 122 or even 125 volts, which pushes that peak even higher. So a 180 volt capacitor is technically within spec, but it's operating very close to its limit. A 200 volt capacitor gives you more headroom. That's important.
We started with the 5-pin Model 1, ran it on 100 volts, measured thermals, and measured wattage. Then switched it directly to 120 volts. And honestly, no drama. The power draw barely changed, so the temperature stabilized in the same range.
The hottest components were the large resistors, but nothing behaved differently between voltages. So at least for this unit, 120 volts didn't seem to matter. Then we tested a 4-pin Model 2. On 100 volts, it was warm but stable. Then we switched it to 120 volts, and one resistor shot past 100 degrees Celsius, like 105 to 107 C, hot enough that you could smell it. Now here's the key detail. The capacitor itself wasn't the part getting hot, it was a resistor.
But the only unit that behaved this way happened to be the one with the 180 volt primary capacitor.
At that point, we started opening more Saturns, and here's what we realized. There are a lot of different Saturn power supply designs, different layouts, different components, different revisions. Out of all the units we tested, every power supply with a 200 volt primary capacitor behaved normally on 120 volts. The only unit that overheated was the one with a 180 volt cap. That doesn't prove all 180 volt units will overheat, it just means that's the only configuration where we observed it. So this really does feel like a bit of a Japanese Saturn lottery.
So what should you actually do if you own a Japanese Saturn?
First, open it up. It's just 5 screws. Look at the voltage rating on the primary capacitor. If it's 200 volts or higher, our testing showed no abnormal behavior on 120 volts. If you want the safest option, use a step-down transformer, or install a quality aftermarket power supply, because without opening the console and checking, you're basically guessing.
We planned to test 3 Saturns. We ended up tearing through a pile of them trying to chase this down. And the honest conclusion? Most Japanese Saturns seem fine on 120 volts.
But at least one of them ran much hotter than we'd ever be comfortable with. More studies may be needed.
And apparently, more Saturns.
That's right. So if you care about long-term reliability, check what's inside yours. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.